The electric vehicle revolution, it's really charging ahead. Incredible momentum.
It really is. Seems like there's news every day.
Everywhere you look, right? New models, charging spots popping up, these big goals. But for a lot of folks, there's still this one, let's say, big question mark. Something that keeps them maybe on the fence about going all in on electric.
And I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. What is it? Is that vital, sort of complex part? Feels a bit like a black box sometimes. The battery.
Exactly.
It's the absolute heart of the EV, no question.
Yeah.
But often, still the biggest mystery.
And that mystery, it's not just, inconvenient. It's a real fundamental challenge. Think about it this way.
Okay.
The battery alone, it can be up to, 40% of the total cost of the car?
That much? Wow.
Yeah. Yet for the longest time, there just hasn't been a truly reliable way, a standard way even, to check its actual health. Or its safety critically, or even figure out its long-term value. And this isn't just about, the tech specs on a sheet. It's deeper. It's about a lack of trust, really.
A trust deficit.
Precisely. This uncertainty, it really eats away at consumer confidence. It turns what should be this exciting step into owning an EV. Well, it makes it feel more like a gamble.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it messes with everything, trying to get financing for a new one, or even just trying to sell your used EV later on.
That's such a powerful point. And it makes you think, right, if the battery's this big unknown, what if? What if we could change that?
How so?
What if that mystery could become, I don't know, a clear, intelligent conversation? Not just for a quick checkup, but for its whole life.
That would be a game changer.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to introduce you to, let's call it the hero of our story. This groundbreaking AI-powered tool. It's called EV Doctor.
Ah, EV Doctor. I've been hearing quite a bit about this. Indian innovation, right?
That's the one. And it's not just making small waves. It's genuinely transforming the whole EV ecosystem globally.
Okay, intriguing.
So what does this mean for you listening in? Maybe you're thinking about an EV. Maybe you're just into sustainable tech. Or maybe you just love a good story about, smart people solving big problems.
A bit of all three for me, I think.
Same here. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how EV Doctor is tackling this trust issue head on, how it's making things smoother for businesses, and crucially, how it's making our electric future safer and, frankly, more accessible for everyone.
It sounds like a really remarkable journey, identifying such a huge gap and then building something, elegant and effective to fill it from the ground up.
It really is. So let's unpack this core problem first, because I think understanding just how deep it runs, it really shines a light on how brilliant the solution is.
Agreed. Context is everything.
Okay, so one of the co-founders, Shubha Mishra, he told this story. It was vivid and honestly pretty alarming. Back in 2020, in a workshop in Gujarat.
Okay, what happened?
He saw a technician actually inspecting a hot e-bike battery with his bare hands.
Bare hands on a hot battery. Seriously. Using these really basic, dangerous methods just to try and figure out its condition.
Wow. That's incredibly risky.
Right. The immediate danger to that person is obvious.
Oh.
But it wasn't just one unsafe moment. It pointed to this bigger systemic problem across the industry.
A gap in how batteries were being handled.
Exactly. Handled, assessed, and maybe most importantly, understood. It was like the industry was flying blind in a really critical area.
That image.
Yeah.
The bare hands. It really sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does.
And what's fascinating, or maybe worrying, is that the traditional testing methods back then, they weren't just unsafe, they were also incredibly slow and inefficient.
Right, the old ways.
They mostly relied on these big, bulky machines called charge-discharge cyclers.
CDCs, for short. Lab equipment, basically.
Pretty much. Definitely not designed for a busy workshop environment. And get this.
Yeah.
They take 7 or 8 hours.
Hours.
Yeah, 7, 8 hours, just to give you the basic numbers, like voltage and capacity.
Okay, that's a long time. A very long time. But here's the real kicker. Those basic numbers, they often weren't enough.
What do you mean?
They couldn't reliably tell you about the deeper issues. Things like high internal resistance, which really kills performance.
Right.
Or, and this is critical, those early signs of safety faults. The kind of things that could eventually lead to, thermal runaway fires.
Oh, wow. So they could miss the really dangerous stuff.
Exactly. So you had limited accuracy, a really steep learning curve for the technicians in the workshops, and frankly, a lot of dangerous guesswork involved.
And you can just immediately see how that lack of clear information, how it just cascades, creates this massive ripple effect of uncertainty through the whole EV lifecycle.
Absolutely. It touches everything.
Like, imagine you're trying to get a loan for an EV, and the bank looks the single most expensive part of the battery, and they have no real idea about its long-term health or value.
How do they assess the risk? It's a nightmare for them.
Exactly. So it hits financing, it hits insurance. How do you set a fair premium? Leasing agreements become tricky.
And the resale market. Huge implications there.
Especially for you, the consumer, thinking about buying used, maybe, or selling yours down the line, without a clear, certified picture of that battery's health.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just a leap of faith anymore.
No, it's a bottleneck, a real market bottleneck that was actively slowing down EV adoption. People were hesitant.
It truly was this missing vital piece, holding things back.
Which makes the aha moment behind EV Doctor so interesting.
Right. So it started with these 2 engineers, Shubha Mishra and Ajay Vashisht.
Okay.
Shubha, he was initially inspired by all the e-bikes he saw hitting the roads in India. His first thought was maybe making affordable parts for them.
A different direction initially.
Totally. But then came that chance observation in the workshop, the bare hands incident.
Ah, the catalyst.
It sparked a completely new idea, a major pivot in what they were thinking.
And Ajay, his co-founder, he was apparently, and this is a quote, obsessed with the time gap between testing and diagnosis.
Obsessed, I like that.
Yeah, he was convinced they could take those hours and hours of testing and just shrink them down to minutes.
Ambitious.
Very. Their first company, eVega Mobility Labs, actually pivoted pretty hard during the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically to tackle this battery diagnostics problem.
So So born out of recognizing that urgent need.
Exactly. That led to them launching Battery Technologies in mid-2021, and then EV Doctor itself officially came out on August 15th, 2022. It was a direct answer to that need for speed, accuracy, and maybe above all, safety.
Okay, so they saw the problem, they pivoted hard. How does this thing actually work? This EV Doctor, what's going on inside that little box that makes it so different?
It's actually quite elegant the way it works. The EV Doctor device itself, it's tiny, really compact, weighs just 300 grams.
Like a couple of phones?
Exactly, super light, and using it is simple. You just connect it to the battery you want to test and also to its charger.
Okay, straightforward enough.
Then it starts transmitting data in real time, things like voltage, current, temperature, how long it's charging over Bluetooth.
To where? Your phone?
To the cloud. It sends this data stream up to a sophisticated cloud-based system. And that's where the AI magic happens.
The algorithms.
Precisely. It's powered by over 25 proprietary AI models that they've developed. We're talking some pretty advanced stuff here.
Like what kind of models?
Well, things like the extended Kalman filter. That's really good for accurately figuring out the internal state of the battery, even the things you can't measure directly.
Okay.
And then you have predictive models like XGBoost and Random Forest. These are machine learning algorithms that are excellent at spotting complex patterns and anomalies in huge amounts of data.
So they're learning from past battery behavior.
In essence, yes. They're trained on vast data sets to understand what healthy looks like, what different faults look like, how degradation happens. They compute safety parameters, detect those hidden faults early, assess capacity loss.
And then what?
Then the results, a full detailed report, gets sent right back down to a mobile app. All in minutes.
Okay, that's the game changer. The speed and the accuracy. You said instead of 7 or 8 hours?
Just 15 minutes for a full diagnosis.
15 minutes, that's incredible. And the accuracy.
They claim over 96.7% accuracy, which is remarkably high for this kind of complex assessment.
And it's not just a quick health check, right? It finds specific problems.
Oh yeah, it's thorough. It can detect over 10 common battery faults. We're talking water damage, issues with the BMS, the battery management system.
Much as like the battery's own little brain.
Exactly. It can spot unbalanced cells, which affects performance and lifespan. Crucially, it looks for those subtle signs of thermal runaway risk.
The fire risk.
The fire risk precursors, yes. And just the natural effects of aging, how much life is really left. Plus, it's versatile, works with batteries up to 100 volts and 100 amp hours, covering a lot of the market.
That is a massive leap, which is huge in efficiency and, like you said, safety.
The impact this has, this ripple effect across the whole EV world, it's really profound. It touches every single stage of a battery's life.
Okay, let's break that down. What does it make the biggest difference first? Production.
Let's start there, yeah. Production and financing. For the OEMs, the guys making the EVs, and the battery assemblers, they can integrate EV Doctor APIs directly into their production lines. This gives them real-time SOH state of health.
That's the measure of remaining usable life.
Exactly. And DCIR, DC internal resistance, which tells you about efficiency and power, plus a safety grade, all right there on the factory floor.
What does that let them do?
It helps them cut down production rejects, apparently by a significant 12–15%. And maybe more importantly, they can ship batteries that are already certified, already finance ready, right from day one.
So that helps with the financing hurdle we talked about.
Absolutely bridges that trust gap for financial institutions. Now they get these digitally certified, tamper-proof health reports. They can actually assess the loan risk properly.
Leading to faster approvals.
They estimate 50% faster loan approvals and potentially unlocking over 1,000 crore rupees. That's like 120 million US dollars in EV financing in India that was previously just too risky.
Wow. Okay, so production and financing, huge impact. What about other areas like insurance or leasing?
Also critical areas, and often overlooked. Risk assessment is everything though, right?
Yeah.
EV Doctor brings actual data to the table for insurers. They can move away from generic premiums and issue dynamic ones based on the verified health of that specific battery.
So better battery care could mean lower premiums.
Potentially, yes. And those tamper-proof reports, they drastically cut down on fraudulent claims. They're seeing up to 35% fewer claim disputes. That's a massive saving for insurers.
Makes sense. And for leasing, things like battery as a service.
Invaluable. For buys operators or anyone leasing batteries, knowing the true health and predicting the usable lifetime is crucial.
For maintenance and knowing when to swap?
Exactly. It allows for much smarter preventive maintenance schedules, and they estimate it reduces replacement costs for battery swap companies by a solid 20–25%. That makes those business models far more sustainable and, well, profitable.
Okay, that covers the business side pretty well. But what about us, the consumers?
Yeah.
Especially in the used market.
Yeah, the resale market. That's a huge one. It's growing fast, projected over 5,000 crore rupees, maybe $600 million, by 2030 in India alone. But trust has always been the issue.
The black box problem again.
Right. EV Doctor provides that independent, certified SOH report. So finally, buyers and sellers have objective data they can both trust.
What does that do for the market?
It speeds things up dramatically. They're seeing resale cycles happen twice as fast, and sellers are getting 15–20% better prices for batteries with verified health reports.
So it creates a healthier, more transparent used market.
Exactly. A liquid secondary market. And for the workshops doing repairs or refurbishment, it's a game changer. Precise diagnostics in 15 minutes tells them exactly what's wrong or confirms the battery is good. Super efficient.
You know, the numbers are impressive, but it's the real-world stories that often hit home. You mentioned workshops.
Yeah, there's a great testimonial from Pawan Prajapat, an EV workshop owner. It really illustrates the impact on the ground level.
What did he say?
He said, before EV Doctor, he could barely test 2 or 3 batteries a day. It was slow, cumbersome.
And risky, as we heard.
And risky. Now he says he can do about 10 to 15 without breaking a sweat. And he gets detailed information without even needing to crack open the battery pack.
That's a huge increase in capacity.
Massive. And he added this, which I thought was powerful. By using EV Doctor, I have tested hundreds of batteries, and not a single one has led to thermal issues. He basically said that alone has probably saved us lakhs, hundreds of thousands of rupees in potential damage.
Just preventing one fire would pay for it many times over, I imagine.
Absolutely. So you go from slow, risky guesswork to this confident, high-volume, safe operation. That's not just tech. It's changing how these businesses run, how people work.
And accelerating that shift to EVs one workshop at a time.
And it's not just him. It's spreading. EV Doctor is now used in over 1,700 workshops across more than 15 countries.
15 countries already.
Yep. And trusted by over 120 EV brands, including some big names like MG Motors, Zip Electric, Yulu.
Okay, so the adoption rate seems really strong.
It speaks volumes about the need and the effectiveness of the solution, but what's also remarkable is how they built that trust. The validation process.
Right. How do they prove it actually works, especially on the safety side?
They didn't just rely on their own tests. They collaborated closely with IIT Gandhinagar, one of India's top engineering institutes.
Okay, academic validation.
Exactly. They conducted over 60 controlled thermal runaway tests there, deliberately pushing batteries to fail to ensure EV Doctor could reliably detect those early warning signs.
60 tests. That's thorough.
Extremely thorough. They proved its safety claims empirically. And now the device is actually part of the curriculum at IIT Gandhinagar. They're teaching future engineers using this tech.
That's quite an endorsement.
It really is. Plus, they've calibrated it against international standards, like IEC and UL benchmarks, ensuring it meets global requirements for reliability and compliance. This isn't just some clutter gadget. It's properly engineered.
And the people guiding them.
Yeah.
Talk about brain power.
Oh, yeah. The advisory board is seriously impressive. You've got Dr. Judith Javarajan on board.
Wasn't she the former head of battery safety at NASA?
The very same. And Kashi Vishwanathan, who has ties to Tesla in India.
Wow. NASA and Tesla connections.
Pretty heavy hitters. And get this. They apparently got strategic advice early on from people like Sanjeev Bikhchandani.
The founder of Naukri.com.
Yeah. And Sridhar Vembu, the founder of Zoho.
How do they manage that?
Apparently, just by sending cold emails, it just shows how compelling their pitch, their solution to this massive problem must have been.
That's incredible. True entrepreneurial spirit.
And they also worked closely with Samir Jindal, a director at MG Motor India. That collaboration helped refine the data systems and especially the thermal runaway prediction preventing those fires.
So deep industry collaboration too. It all builds a picture of serious credibility.
It's a powerful validation, absolutely, both the tech and the vision behind it.
Definitely. And something else that really stands out, beyond the tech and the big names, is their focus on making it accessible. This isn't just for the giant corporations, is it?
No, and that seems quite intentional. They initially priced the device around Oki 5,000, but they made a conscious decision to lower it to 10,000 specifically for the smaller garages.
That's less than half price. Why?
To democratize it, basically. To get this crucial diagnostic tool into the hands of the smaller players, the independent workshops, who are really on the front lines of EV maintenance.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
And commendable. So, okay, EV Doctor is here. It's making waves.
Yeah.
But what's next? Is this the end game for them?
Not even close, according to the co-founders. They see EV Doctor as just the beginning.
Oh. What's the bigger vision?
Their next big project is under a different umbrella, Energy AI Labs, or the Near Energy. They're aiming to build what they describe as a universal operating system for batteries.
A universal OS for batteries. What does that even mean?
Think of it like giving, and this is their phrase, a brain to every battery on Earth.
Okay. Intriguing. Go on.
This platform, which they're calling ESI Energy Superintelligence, the idea is it would provide continuous diagnostics, live updates, predictive insights, constantly monitoring and optimizing the battery.
So not just a snapshot test, but ongoing intelligence.
Exactly. Capable of working with everything from a scooter battery all the way up to grid-scale energy storage systems,
Wow.
always ensuring peak performance, safety, longevity.
That sounds incredibly ambitious. Is it just an idea?
Apparently not. They already have a prototype in testing, and they're targeting a launch around mid-September 2025.
Wow. So very much in development.
Seems so. And if you connect this back to the core message, the grand promise here is really clear, and it's quite profound.
Which is?
It's this. If batteries are tested properly, their lifespan can be extended by 8 to 10 years. And that, they say, is exactly what their technology helps achieve.
8 to 10 years longer. That's huge for sustainability, for cost.
Massive. They stress that the biggest problem isn't really the battery chemistry itself. It's the lack of good information about its actual state and the basic methods people still use to check them.
The bare hands approach.
Right. And they did mention, candidly, a challenge they faced, especially early on.
What was that?
Just the perception. People often don't believe that deep tech can be built in India, is what they said.
Overcoming that bias.
Yeah. But clearly, through their innovation, the rigorous testing, the results, they've definitely proven those doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking tech can, and does, come from anywhere.
What an absolutely fascinating journey. Innovation tackling a really fundamental problem. We've seen how EV Doctor is injecting this vital trust and transparency into the whole world of EV batteries.
Yeah, from preventing those dangerous workshop incidents and making batteries last longer.
All the way to unlocking huge financial potential across the board. It's not just about selling more EVs faster. It feels bigger than that.
It does. It's about making that electric future smarter, definitely safer, and genuinely more sustainable for everyone involved.
A truly enabling technology.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to chew on as you think about where all this energy tech is heading.
Okay, leave us with something provocative.
All right. Imagine a world where every single battery, not just in EVs, but maybe the one in your phone right now, or your laptop, or even a home solar storage system. Imagine each one has its own intelligent brain inside, constantly optimizing how it works, predicting its own needs, communicating its health status in real time.
A world of smart batteries.
Exactly. How might that fundamentally change our relationship with energy, making it more efficient, more reliable, and ultimately, what new possibilities could that unlock for you personally in a future that really needs to be sustainable?